What is going on, crypto fam? It's been a good day for Bitcoin. Um, it's been bloody, right? It's been a lot of weeks, right? There's quite a few indications for the pump. I did send out an email newsletter yesterday, and I sent another one today saying we're going up to 72.40, right? I had two publications, both went out to our newsletter subscribers. This one is saying there is an overhead gap at 72.41. There we are. There's a gap at 72.41, and that's where we're expecting us to bounce to as far as price goes. And there was also another publication that went out today, right? And I was saying why we found support. Now, in terms of why the chart found support there, I'll go into that on in terms of like long-term and macro. And in this video, I'm also going to go over my plan for the holidays. We're all traveling, doing some things, so I have alerts set at certain prices. I'm looking at a certain levels. One, to hedge my entire portfolio in case we decide to stay bearish, and I'll go over that scenario. Two, in case we continue upwards, and also go over some of my lower targets for Bitcoin if we do break this critical 3-year line, right? This is the 3-year moving average and the red line on my chart. Now, the long today, right? So Phantom, our XABCD scanner, and RBI are three indicators work together, and they're able to pretty much pinpoint where the turn was. Because the setting was on the 15-minute chart as 7.3. It's not the most popular setting. Ryan Andre, our head developer, the guy that makes these indicators look really pretty, he caught it, right? And I was actually scaling in around here, and on the turn I just stopped, started closing out my previous short. Now, that being said, we had an XABCD formation of 0.272 that ended right at the 15-minute phantom, two 15-minute phantom buy signals, and the RBI signal to buy, right? So this was by all means a buy. We did have a phantom exit, and that phantom exit pretty much means don't need a hedge right now. But I did post my hedge a little bit earlier, and right now if you look at my ROE on my chart, right, I'm actually equally long and short, so I just completely captured that 1000%. I still do have some of the calls, the option calls that I signaled. I signaled 72.50 calls for December 20th and 72.50 calls for December 27th. The initial signal for the calls came on the first drop, and I said quarter position. If you guys scaled in, added some more to your position, then you did good, right? You should have done pretty good. If you didn't, you still made 55% on the first sell and then 100% on the second sell that I signaled as well today in BTC BMX. So now, in terms of what's happening, right, and why I decided to hedge today, the target was 72.50. We did have an overshoot. If you go to the phantom settings 7.6, the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is still stuck, guys, and if it closes below our midline, if it closes below this price level of where we are right now, right, if we break back down and this can't remain support, then I'm expecting us to come back down into the corrective phase. Back to that chart, this chart right here that went out in the newsletter today. What's really holding Bitcoin up, or it held it up, is this 3-year moving average. And if we zoom out, it actually held the chart up. I'm kind of in the way. I'm going to make myself smaller. You guys don't need to see me anyway. So, what happened was, it was support in November 2015, right here. It was support all the way 2015 to 2016. And then it came up, and then in 2018 on that dip, it kind of acted as support, not as strong, and it came down and became resistance, and we went lower. And I'll show you exactly where we went when we did go lower. Now I am using the Bitstamp chart because XBTUSD does not have data going that far back. Happy holidays, Delilah, Christopher Spencer, what's going on? I know, Stephen Bell. So let's take a look at my plan, right? What I'm seeing, why I've been sending out 2 newsletters back to back. I said there is going gonna be a mood 7240. That is potentially is it could be a good exit, so we're not selling at like 6K. I will be hedging short, heavier than my current hedge, right? So right now I'm like 98 to 1,000. Now, if we close below here, right, I'm expecting us to go lower, go like to 61.38, and then potentially even lower. Now this MA right here is the actual price on it right now today. So it's in the 61.30 range or 6,300. And that should act as support. The minute that loses its support, we're currently at 63.26, right? That's where this 3-year moving average is. Now, if we take a look at another good reason why we should sort of hedge right now. If you go to the daily, the yearly moving average is actually resistance, right? And as long as it's resistance, then what I think is going to happen, right? If we were going to do a heavy shakeout like we did last year, I think we're going to stop right here, guys. This imaginary line is right at, I'm just going to open it up and give you the exact number. So I'm not going 48.78 today, right? And I did mention in one of the publications that if we do break all the way down, that I think this is going to be the next bottom. Now, why am I making such like long-term price projections, and why would I want to hedge? On RBI, or a daily RBI, the relative breadth index is still bearish, right? We still don't have that bull cross. Last time we had a big up move, right? And then we did have a bull cross, but the signal line came down to K, and that was the absolute best entry. So we want to look for one of those crossovers before re-entry. Alright, back to Phantom, the 4-hour chart. This needs to hold, guys. This needs to hold as support, right? If this doesn't hold as support, we're going lower. Or we might chop out, and once again, I'm looking for the 3-year MA to maintain, to stay intact. Back to the daily, right? This is the daily. We're looking at a pretty significant cross if it happens. And I'm not talking about a 50 MA, a 5200, anything like that. I'm just going to shut off everything. And let's get rid of the yellow one. Right, so last time we saw one of these guys was back in 2016, right? That was the last time we had this cross. And if we have this cross, this is pretty significant in all markets. We should expect a run, but we must close above. We gotta close above 7,500. We must break that level. That's exactly where we got shot down today, right at that MA. Right, and it was a pretty wicked rejection. I actually signaled, I said this is where we want to hedge based on the 4-hour Phantom mid line up here. And as soon as price got up there, I said take profit, hedge, and yeah, take profit on the calls, hedge, and essentially don't look back. Let's take a look at smaller time frames. We're still on a Phantom exit, right? That's a 7.6. The 360 Phantom, this was another highlight, is we had a touch off that 360. It was also a 4-point formation, and then we had that quick turnaround. Now, based on RBI, we're gonna need to break above, right? So right now it's choppy. I would like to see bulls push up a little bit higher and maintain over this moving average. Or no, above our Phantom midline. That's the most critical point right now. Plan for the rest of the year, right? Let's go back to that thing. So if we don't, if we do break that midline, and I'm gonna probably short bigly and make sure that my portfolio is covered, and most likely cash out some BTC just in case we come down to that 40. 4,800 mark, right? Because that's a big drop. That is a 33%. I don't want to take 33% hit. I don't want to sit through this, right? Like people that didn't have stops last year below the bottom, right? Below the look on bottom, like the price floor, I lost 50%, man. So that's gonna be very important. All right, going to XBT USD. Going to the daily chart, right? I want to see us get back about removal of drawing tools. We gotta close above this. I did have a fractal, a moving average fractal that I had seen here. I'm trying to identify it again. Is it a 2-day? Might have been a 720. All right, it was a 720. If we do stay bullish, right? If we do stay bullish, then my next exit is going to be right around here, like 93.84. My next really big short's going to be there, just in case, right? Until we get that bullish cross on the daily. Now here we do have a divergence on RBI on the 720. I'm not sure if it's completely played out to its target, not yet. But yeah, so if we close above that midline and we get a sustained rally, I'm looking for 9,400. All right, that would be my big swing target. 93.91 to be exact, 94.12 actually. Take that up a little bit, 94.79. Pretty much covered BTC, and or what I'd like to say about BTC right now. You guys have any questions about like the 15-minute buy signal that happened? Also, if you guys have Phantom, I would suggest really using that 15-minute for short time frames. That 15-minute 7.3. Because it literally looks like that's what market makers are doing, especially like after this chop zone, right? Phantom pretty much caught this top, caught the next top, no buy signal here. Once you re-enter the 15-minute Phantom, the chart started moving. So I kind of want to see what happens when we re-enter Phantom now before the up move. Man, I know RHYS, I am waiting on that too, Rice. I'm waiting on that too. You've had a decent bounce today. Let's go over the Coinbase chart, ETHUSD, and look at that. Tanked right back in a 15-minute Phantom. Let's go into a 4-hour. It's out of the 4-hour. Let me go back to our 7.6 setting. Right, didn't even hit the midline. Kind of want to see a turning formation, some kind of bullish formation on Ether. Looks like the downtrend's accelerating, and I don't like it. I don't even see a wedge. Did we break support? We did not, right? There's also in markets usually like the last phase of a bearish move is the most aggressive, and I don't know if we saw that yet, right? And that's why I want to be cautious right now with BTC and my portfolio and positions and so forth. And that's why I called out that hedge today. It's actually up like 157 and 931 on the long. Now, yeah, the 360 nailed that bottom. So did the 15, right? And people like want to even look at small time frames. Well, how are you gonna get a big time frame on a, or how are you gonna get a good entry on a daily chart? Now, one last thing I want to highlight about BTC is I didn't quite post this because last time I posted it, chart kept going down. I didn't want to get everybody excited, right? So I did spot this earlier. We had several nines, right? We had 2 nines in a row, and now we're seeing a green or a blue 1 on TD sequential. Right, now I saw this 9 and we played this 13 and it didn't do anything. It just practically went to a 3 and then a double, like a 2 and dumped. But having seen a couple of nights play out. I don't know if the third one's a charm. It was decent volume in a day, but long term, right? My perspective is we gotta keep an eye on that 3-day chart, right? That 3-year moving average right here. Once again, we're seeing the 9-day moving average act as resistance, right? So we want to close above that guy, close above that dang phantom 4-hour, and keep going. Back to that 5-hour, the 360 did really good, but right there, we can't really trade those midlines on it. I think they're way too far up. Right, the midlines are way too high, 85.05. There's that 88.9, right? I did have a 9K target, so potentially, this might be the phantom chart at play, but it's best to hedge and protect, and especially when we're margin trading, because we can hedge long short, we can do quite a bit of fun with it. All right, now it's time for altcoins. You guys have suggestions? Show me some alt suggestions. If you have any questions on Phantom or XABCD or RBI, it's also a good time to get them out. I will be traveling for the next 11 or so days. I'll probably try to stream once or twice, depending, I'm going to be seeing some family, some friends and stuff, so just depending on the setting, but I'll definitely keep the charts updated in Discord. You guys, hit me with some suggestions. Let's go over some alts. One alt that I did scale back in today and I did not quite signal it is VeChain. Show you guys why. I did have alerts to 73 because I did see our bullish 272, right? I picked this one up with the XABCD scanner. The setting for this one was a 13. So if you just set your XABCD scanner to 13, then the 9 is going to pick it up too. Either the 9 or the 13. The 9 gave a top, Phantom gave another top. Now we're seeing a buy signal on the 6-hour. The 30-minute Phantom's in accumulation mode. So I kind of want to see 81 and 99. Another one that's looking pretty good right now that we got stopped out at was looking really bullish, and then it kind of got choppy, and when BTC dumped and everything else dumped, it dumped as well. Let's go to the 4-hour here, and that is QSP. Just pick them up off my other monitor. That's where I monitor my alts that I'm watching. Where'd my cursor go? I lost my mouse, guys. Oh, there it is. So I'm looking for QSP. I'm looking for a turn soon. I'm just gonna go through these formations one setting at a time, right? You have a deep 0.6.8, so I'm looking to get back in here like 112, 109 zone, right? Because you did have 2 sell signals. I was looking for the Phantom exit. We didn't get it, and now it's looking like we're gonna go a little lower, and that's good. We got stopped out. No reason to hold something. Wait for a next buy signal, reduce risk, and trade accordingly. There's also a bigger formation, so let me turn off the 13, and it's also in this zone, right? So we're just gonna go ahead and do a triangle and a rectangle. So there's 2 bullish harmonics or XABCD patterns that are coming down. I want to see them complete. I want to see wicks down to 112. That would be where that stop is probably for the butterfly. And yeah, so it's definitely looking like a spot that I'm looking along on QSP. So these are 2 alts I'm watching. Zeke has been really strong. Zeke 30-minute has been really strong. I'll go over that. So thanks for BAT and ETH BTC. I'll go over that chart too. Lumens and BAT. So, Zeke BTC is looking very interesting on the 30, right? These two phantom buy signals failed, but Zeke was looking strong. So well, I'm gonna set alerts right now for like 39.17 alert, just so I do go back in and we get the signal when it's due. And all right, so we had that. I'm gonna start off the top. Let's do ETH BTC. I'm just gonna start with Phantom. Again, a buy on the 240. I want to see it tuck back up and close, right? I want to see it close above that 18066, right? Above here, we do have a little bit of RBI entanglement. Not quite a strong buy. I want to see it get back above, chop out a little. Let's go over to 360. Yeah. If it does break below, I would definitely suggest stomping back out in a BTC and letting this thing play out. Let me go over to 15, see if the 7.3 is reactive. If it did anything, we still don't have a big volume push. We saw kind of like what we saw in BTC today. So yeah, I mean that the 7.15 I said, I think market makers are definitely sticking to 7.3 on the 15. So we could potentially see a turn here, right? If it's following BTC's course today, BTC's course today, you should see something happen here. Once that volume comes in, we close above 183, then I'd look to take another long. The last margin long on this one had hit T1. All right, going over Lumen, BTC. $7.315. I did have published a chart on this. I did have a buy signal. It should have stopped you out by now. Lumen should have stopped you out. And that's why we always have a stop. Right, it broke down. Once it broke below 710, let it go. That's a 7.3. Let's go to the 7.6 and back to the 4 hour. I'll also run some XABCD formations on it. All right, so our 4 hour phantom buys gonna be at 562. It's probably a lot of liquidity down there, right? Because all these guys that accumulated lumens up here think they're safe. Now let's go ahead and put the scanner on. Nothing on the 9. It did signal the top here. This one didn't play out, but phantom caught that top. Turn off the 9. Go in like a 36, a little bigger. That formation didn't play out. 786 didn't. The other 786 didn't, right? And that's the thing. When Bitcoin dumped, there was a lot of good setups, and that's why we got stopped out of a lot of these market conditions. All right, there's 2 signals on this one. Let's do the 13, and I'll go in a bigger time frame with just the scanners without phantom. So let's go to the 360. Eek, what's this one? 535. Yeah, where phantom is. And the way I'm analyzing these charts is how I would to trade them, right? So this is probably a great time for you to come in and pick up these systems. I'm going to turn off this 786 and the 13, right? And that's where the XABCD buy signal would be. So let's go over and do a phantom. It gets below the 4 hour, so I'd at least expect wicks down here. Let's wait it out. There's still no RBI cross. Thought we had flipped bullish on, we have not flipped even bearish on the daily. So when we get a rebound, it's going to rebound fairly hard, right? RBI is still positive. Going over bat. Bat, was supposed to stop me out, but I'm still in bat. Oh, that's the wrong bat. Here you go, bat BTC. That's better. 240. Right, because we're in that, I did scale out over here and I'm still holding some. I want to scale back in. You can see I have an alert, right? You see that orange dot with a 2187. I am looking to scale back in a bat right around here. That's my alert. We did have a bullish KD cross on the 4-hour. The daily, I believe, is still, it's kind of doing entanglement, right? It hasn't crossed bearish yet. Now let's scan for formations. Oof. Right, so that's probably going to be either my ad or my GTFO. And 4. Now let's kind of go through the time frames. The 4 hours showing. The 4 hours showing several buy signals here, and I'm just going to turn a lot of them off. The 13. Alright, so I have a bullish 786 right at Phantom, and it's probably another reason why I have my alert set. And then I believe the 9, I'm just going to remove X8 or the 4-point pattern. Alright, look at that. I mean, if you're just trading X8 BCD, you would have known to get out here and then come down and get this move. But I am expecting pretty big targets out of that just because of what RBI is doing. So time frame by time frame. Let's take to the 4 hour before going to the daily since we're using scanners. Just like the 15-minute today signaled the long for a big pump. So, I mean, you kind of want to work throughout the time frame, invalidate one, then go to the next. All right, going over EOS. Is HAHA? Is that a coin? Kidding. Practicing, so it's like holiday humor, right? I'm gonna nerd out on the fam. So going over EOS. Probably gonna do EOS BTC. Oof. Look at that. I'm just going to get rid of this large deep 6.8, and that's going to be on the 36 setting, so left with the 9 and the 13. Can you even get rid of Phantom for now? There's a... Let's get rid of the... Let's just keep this the way it is for now. Phantom just signaled a long signal lines above the KD. Let me look at the daily for a KD crossover. There isn't one, alright, but KD is still bullish, so we might get a good entry. We might get a good entry. The 4 hour had signaled, you know, get out, right? This became resistance, so at that, like at this first break, I would get out and then wait for the turn. I'm gonna go in a smaller time frame. Let's go to the 120. I'm gonna turn up the scanner again. So here, right, what happened on the 120? We had a Phantom exit, and then Phantom become resistance. So let's wait for a Phantom re-entry, right? It's up here for now. Let's do the scan. This 4-point is valid. This 4-point, okay, this 4-point is valid. This 4-point's valid. The 9. Let me go into the 30. Sometimes you can find really good formations here. Right, like, even though Phantom didn't call a top there, the scanner did on a 3 drive. And now there's supposed to be a bearish 618. So I would wait to see what happened here. It's probably why the Lord, and you got a bullish KD cross. Let's wait till it gets back in the 2 hour Phantom. That would be my verdict. Thank you, Christopher. These indicators can be yours, bro. There's a link in the video description for all our indicators. Going over Funfair. I would wait for 38. Too soon, right? We got nothing but rejection on the 120, and there is a 4-point coming down. Right, let's do a 240. Yeah, I don't think I would remain long at this point. I would not. I mean, 39 and back to the 4 hour. 33. There's 39 here, 39.40 range. I mean, depend on your risk tolerance. I'm staying away from these really low Satoshi tokens because like a 2 sat drop is an easy stop hunt. It's also a big loss. I'm not trying to play that kind of risk. Bear in mind, RBI is bullish, and whoa, look at that daily. I would call this formation complete. This 272 is complete. And that's on, when you click on it, it's going to get highlighted. Let me do this real quick. So anytime you click, if you guys are using the scanner, anytime you click on a formation, it's going to be highlighted. So what you can do is turn off all the other ones. And just focus on that one, right? So it's on the 9. I think it was a 9 and the 13. It'll definitely, yeah, it just got darker. So it's on both. And that definitely played out, right? Even though the PRZ was a little further in time, but price got there and right away. Fund rejected. Let's see if it's at a, what kind of retracement it's done since there. Since the rejection, since the bearish 272 played out. 78.6, 42, right? I mean, 42 to 31 should see some kind of turn. KD is still bullish. Also, like the signal line, if it bounces off D, that would be good for another up move. So this could just be a T1. Alright, fam bam. Anybody else got altcoin suggestions? You guys on Facebook awfully quiet tonight. I know you got some alt bags. Another scenario for a bullish BTC while I wait for you guys is that risk on. Remove all drawing tools, remove all indicators. Just kind of, I'm going to do the SPY. Remove all drawing tools. And you can go to the weekly chart. I don't know if you guys remember, but some weeks ago I said we're getting a blow off top, right? I said we're going up. That's not even the right fib, I don't think. This is the right fib, right? So, a couple weeks, maybe like 2 months ago, I said you want to see a bubble, right? It was a post on our Facebook, and it was also a risk on newsletter that came out. I said the S&P is going to blow off. And I also said the next target is going to be 383. I sent this to a fund manager, and he goes, no, it's time to hedge. And I said, no, it's time to like kind of go long. I'm still expecting a pullback down in here, back to 298 for a liquidity play, just like what we saw down here, right? Just like, I'm going to go ahead and circle these. And this ties into Bitcoin. This definitely ties into Bitcoin. Right, so anytime we clear a significant fib, we get a pullback to a significant fib. Even over here, right? We get some kind of retest. I want to see this retest. If not, it's going to be really bad, guys. It's going to be straight bubbles. Might as well just like ride it all the way up to 388. Don't even look around. But if you get the nice pullback, I mean, you get really good calls, maybe like 2, 3 month, 4 month out calls. And crush it. Now, where does this tie into BTC? So you put a tinfoil hat on, right? I'm just going to go to the BLX chart. That's the weekly Bitcoin chart. So theoretically, we close above this fib level. When the S&P retested 155, right, which was that previous double top, and it started taking off, that said BTC in a parabolic move. once again, you see these circled areas. I'm just going to circle the coinciding area of BTC on the chart. Here, right? BTC had cleared this previous consolidation zone, and as the S&P cleared that high. Now, did this happen again? Back here it happened. So usually when we get a risk-on scenario, that's what all 2017 was. So during the BTC bull run, 2016 to 2018, right? What was the S&P doing? It was in between fib zones, right? It made 40%. During the same time frame, I'm just gonna go off this low. BTC made like 4,000%. Now, this happened previously too. During this period, right? Let's go ahead and circle that. Right, so BTC had came out of consolidation, right? Had broken down, chopped out, just like when the S&P is correcting, when markets are correcting, BTC chomps out and corrects too. There's a correction here. There's a correction here. There's a correction here, and that's this correction right here. And it was consolidation and a breakout, right? So when certain assets, when markets are bullish in a risk-on scenario, we're going to see these blow-offs, right? So if we look at this, right, if this was the last ceiling, whoa, I'm really bad at drawing lines, right? Just like down here. I'm gonna fix this. We'll go drawing tools. You guys don't should be like, this guy can't draw. Alright, so if this was like the last consolidating bottom, just like this one, just like this one, and we get a risk-on scenario, we might enter a risk-on scenario here as well, right? But what is that floor to bottom? What is that magic number that we need to be above? Don't know. If it's that cross that I'm looking for on those long-term 1, 2, 3 year MAs, that might be the magic number to send her. All right, going back into WAN. I should probably put this in the beginning of the video. Maybe somebody can help me fix that. Anyways, moving into WAN BTC as Mark requested. I scaled out of WAN. I was in Wabi, I wasn't in WAN. Oh my god, this looks good, man. This looks bottomy on the weekly. Going sideways. Let's turn on the scanner. Oof, look at that. Bearish 272, bearish 080, now we're coming back down. Really powerful system, guys. Really powerful systems you have access to. If you don't have access, there's a link to the suite and the trading in the video descriptions. So we had sell signal on Phantom. We had a sell signal on the scanner after a long signal. So this would have been long. This would have been an add to long. This would have been a get out. Now, move all drawing tools. What's next? All right, 2517. I'm just gonna go ahead and print these on here for you. 2517. If that fails to become support, then we're looking at 2352. And if that goes down for liquidity play, this is the honey badger entry, right? Liquidity. You haven't even kissed it on the 4 hour. Let's go to the 120. Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find you a bullish XABCD pattern. We just left the 4 hour. Maybe the 60. 30. Yeah, no. That's all she wrote. All right, fam. I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this. I do have to pack for my trip. I'm flying out in a couple of hours. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not on Discord, click the link, hop into Discord. If you have any questions about the indicators, script support, ask me. Ping people. Your community will help you out. You got my BTC analysis. You got my BTC plan. You know the bullish scenario. I'm gonna send out a newsletter with just the bullish scenario, like that part of the video, because I think it's very important for people to see. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Much love. Happy holidays. I'll catch you next stream or on Discord. Take care.